Every time someone on your team needs to forecast or budget, they close Power BI and open Excel. Someone collects all the files, reconciles the versions, and manually loads all that data back in. But Power BI shows you the past. Aimplan is how you plan for the future without ever even leaving Power BI. I'm Daniel Straight, Product Specialist at Aimplan, and I'm here to show you how to do exactly that with our planning and reporting visual. This is a standard Power BI report built on sales volumes, real semantic model, real data. Nothing has been modified. The products, customers, and time periods that you see here, Aimplan reads that directly from your model. But nothing is copied and nothing is moved. Now watch what happens when I click into a cell, say April of 2026, and I modify one of these numbers. I'm going to make it a big number so we can really see the results of this. I'll click Save, and in real time, this chart will update, and we'll see how it updates across our other reports. That number is written back to the semantic model instantly. And that is Power BI operating as a two-way tool, not just reporting what happened, but capturing what you plan to do next. Now, sales forecasting is one use case, but cost planning is another entirely, and yet it works the same way. Let's take a look at our OpEx planning form. And once we're here, we can enter a number at the top level, say in a total of totals. Let's look at real estate costs here. I'll set this to 3,000, or rather 3 million, hit enter, and then hit save. And we'll watch how that immediately aggregates across every account and every month. It allocates itself following the pattern that you choose. You can plan top down like this, or bottom up at the detail level, or anywhere in between. And no one starts from a blank sheet. If I wanted to forecast ahead and look at 2027, we can easily aggregate across the entire form. I can choose my icon up here to apply default suggestions, or choose any of my suggestions from the dropdown based on any of the measures in our data, like say last year actuals. And that same mechanism works on, say, a growth assumption or an AI generated forecast computed in Microsoft Fabric. The system proposes and you review, adjust, and commit. We can see all of that data populate across our entire report. And because every plan lives in a scenario, I can compare a budget against a forecast, or compare multiple forecast versions side by side without ever even leaving the page, like looking here in my compare scenario report. This allows us to choose a scenario from the dropdown and immediately see them side by side, as we see here in our budget 2026, 2027, or 2027 version 2. Now, let me show you a bit more on the reporting side of the same visual on a different kind of page entirely. We're going to look at our aggregated P&L. Now, Power BI's native matrix works essentially exactly like a pivot table. You cannot place a gross margin line between account groups. You cannot show two different dimensional cuts side by side. And when you export it, well, the formatting is pretty much always gone. But here, row sections stack independently, each with its own calculated lines sitting exactly where a financial statement expects them. For instance, we have gross profit percentage right here in the middle. This one breaks out by month and quarter, for instance, but you could by an entirely different dimension if you wanted to. Now, this is a proper P&L, not a pivot table. I also could, of course, export this to view it in Excel. If I right-click on this, I'll go ahead and click Export, download that visual, and if someone needs it in Excel, that export is going to be pixel perfect. I'll take a look at it here in Excel, and it's going to maintain all of my formatting, everything that I had placed in there, entirely intact. One visual, multiple modes, built entirely on the Power BI investment that your organization has already made. The Aimplan planning and reporting visual is part of the full Aimplan solution. If you want to go deeper, workflow approval processes, simplified master data management, long form management, commenting, and much more, explore the full Aimplan platform on AppSource or visit aimplan.com.